Happy Valentine's Day. That's two single asses seeing a remake of About Last Night.
We're getting weird looks in there, man.
That'll be Theater 11 to your right, sweethearts. Fuck. So we just got out of About Last Night, which I gotta hand it to this one. Between the 3 remakes that are out this weekend, this is the only one that keeps the original's R rating.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, Endless Love's the remakes of PG-13 and RoboCop PG-13. Yeah, this one keeps the R. You've never seen the original one before?
I don't believe I have.
It's fine. I remember the sex scenes more than I remember a lot about the movie itself, but I remember enough about the movie, like enough to where I was recognizing when it was hitting all the same notes in this one.
Oh, right on.
Enough to where I picked it up when they were watching the original on TV at one point, which, okay, I gotta talk about that.
Yeah, talk about it, yeah. You're like, what?
That would be some, let's say that happened in real life, that would be some serious Twilight Zone shit. Like, hey, this...
Yeah.
This is looking really familiar to me. Almost like this same exact thing is happening, but with white people. The names are even the same, which that's kind of a... I like Kevin Hart better than I like James Belushi, but James Belushi does look more like a Bernie than Kevin Hart does.
Yeah.
So, as the movie goes on, were they ever remembering, like, wow, this is all, like, crazy, like, similar to that movie we watched several months ago? Like, we should really be surprised by none of this that is happening. This all happened in that 80s Demi Moore, Rob Lowe movie. Actually, I honestly like this movie. I had no real thoughts one way or the other going into it.
I didn't either. I literally watched the trailer like 5 minutes before we went into it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, alright.
Yeah, it really was like everyone's doing Valentine's Day shit, and I like text Nick, even though we're roommates, I text him from the other room. Like, hey, are you doing anything tonight? You want to go see About Last Night? You're like, I don't know what that is. Sure. So honestly, I might have actually liked this better than the original one. Maybe. It's been so long since I've seen the original, and what I kind of remember about the original, and it's honestly sort of the case here too, except the supporting characters in this are better, is that the original was like, you know, it hits every point of a relationship, beginning, middle, end, and then a little bit there afterwards, with 2 people who are perfectly normal, likable enough. They're not unlikable, they're really not that douchey, there's nothing really wrong with them, but I mean, because of that, they're kind of...
Kevin Hart was a douche, but it was out of love.
No, I mean, I'm talking about I'm talking about the 2 main characters, the 2 leads, and with the original, I remember just kind of being like, you know, they were just very, very ordinary people, which sort of made it not that interesting of a movie, kind of. I mean, like, I didn't really care. Like, if these people ended up together or fell apart at the end, it didn't really matter to me all that much, even though there's really nothing wrong with them, but I would just rather watch something like Annie Hall than I would that is about the beginning, middle, and end of a relationship, and I like it better than the original About Last Night. This one, it is sort of the same deal. I mean, the 2 main characters, they're likable. They have really good chemistry. They're good actors.
She's hot.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. The dude is very charismatic. But you're just kind of watching a normal relationship that kind of falls apart at the end, and then when they sort of get back together at the end, or it implies that, it's like, I've seen what you guys do in a relationship. I don't know if this is a good idea. So... But what this one really does have going for it are Kevin Hart and Regina Hall.
Yes, they are great in this.
They're fantastic in it.
You know, like, I didn't have any idea about the movie. And so, like, I was like, oh, alright, Kevin Hart, alright, let's do this.
You don't like Kevin Hart?
He's okay.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, I won't go out to see one of his movies. Like, you know, oh my god, yeah, Kevin Hart movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they definitely made the movie. I mean, for me.
this is a better Kevin Hart movie than Grudge Match.
I bet.
Way better. Oh my god. But yeah, so much. They're so good in this that you can really tell the movie wants to be about them. Like, the Bernie and Joan characters they feel like they're a lot more prominent in this one than in the original one, even though they were in the original one too. And I haven't seen the play. It's based on a play called Sexual Perversions in Chicago. So, of course, the remake takes place in L.A. But I guess second fucking remake of a movie where the original one takes place in Chicago. Endless Love.
Chicago, I mean.
Dude, yeah, that's true. The remake of Endless Love, the original's in Chicago. I think the book's in Chicago, too. The remake's in, like, the Deep South. So fucking... it really feels like they... At times, it was sort of like, why didn't they just make Kevin Hart the lead in this movie? They really want him to be the lead. Not only does he walk away with whole scenes in this movie, him and Regina Hall, but they have the more interesting relationship in the movie. They have the funnest scenes.
Yeah, every time they were popped up, or every time it was getting boring, I was like, all right, Kevin Hart, come on, be another scene. Yes. I like a 30-second scene.
Yeah, and you're right. And the two main characters, they are perfectly likable, but in terms of sitting there watching a movie, I was way more interested in what the relationship of Kevin Hart and Regina Hall was like. It was more original than the main one that was going on, and you can tell that, like, they really built this so much around Kevin Hart because, one, he's got top billing, and two, he's on the poster not once but twice.
Is he really?
The poster is like one of those that's like divided into like threes. The main couple is in the middle, and Kevin Hart is on both the top and the bottom. They obviously, it's sort of like, why didn't they just completely rewrite this just to make him the lead? It seems like that's really kind of what they wanted to do, because this is beyond, like, a supporting character just stealing a movie, which is normal. You know, that happens a lot, that a supporting character just walks away with a movie. But in this particular case, it's not so much that he just walks away with the movie, he becomes the movie.
Yeah. Kevin Hart, the movie.
Yeah, he totally becomes that whole relationship between him and Joan that just becomes this movie. There are scenes with them and the leads where Kevin Hart still has the most dialogue in the scene. But I mean, I still liked it. I mean, I did.
It was good, you know. I would take a girl on a date to it, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to take someone out for Valentine's Day this weekend,
it'd probably be the best one out there.
Between Endless Love and that awkward moment. I mean,
it's going to do good.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, if you want to go see the Lego Movie.
Oh, I did. It was great.
Oh yeah. That's. I mean, if you want like a purely romance film, this one works. This one is good to go to for Valentine's Day. You're not gonna sit there like, oh God, this fucking woman. You're not gonna sit there like that at all. You're so not gonna be miserable in this thing.
Yeah.
It is not. It is a movie about. It is a movie where the characters are, even though like Kevin Hart and Regina Hall are doing like the kooky comedy thing, and I can say this about the original one too. It is a movie about real people. It is a movie about not just movie caricatures or anything like that.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching and be like, yep, done that, yep, done that, yep, done that. In a relationship,
Same here.
you know?
Yeah, honestly, that's a good point. Maybe that's why I kind of like this one better, is because when I saw the original, I was like, I was probably junior high, and I was mainly watching it just so I could
see
so I could have some alone time with those scenes. And now that I'm like fucking 30, honestly, watching this one, I was like, okay, I've totally been there in so many of these instances. Oh my
Almost
god.
every single one. I was like, oh god.
Fuck, I've done that. I've done that. Okay, I've never slept with somebody and the other person was wearing a chicken mask. I've never done that.
You haven't? That's
Yet.
great. Yet.
They charge extra for that, dude.
Gotta find an adventurous one.
Turkey baster, that's a completely different story.
Oh yeah.
Even at the end, like, you know, you're kind of sitting there as an audience, like, well, okay, even if they get back together, I really don't think this is gonna work out, considering what I just saw. It's kind of like, you know what it is? It's like, after Dave was in, like, one of his many car accidents, and then you see him get behind the wheel of a car again. It's like, oh, Dave.
Dave, no.
No, don't do that, Dave. But, you know, he's got places to go.
That's true.
So, and
I get shit done.
yeah, I mean, I've been there too, where I've gotten together with someone again, and like, I know in my heart this is not a good idea, but whatever, we're all stupid.
It's not a good idea. Yes, it is.
What? Why do you sound like the Dick from Pussy Talk 2? So, I mean, I don't know what more I really have to say about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I did, well, you said this, though, too. Like, it just ends, and the credits start rolling. I'm like, wait, what?
But I saw that coming, because I remembered how the original one ended, and it ends in a similar fashion, too. Again, the characters should have seen it coming, because they watched the original, which...
Yeah.
That blows my mind. Like, that's right up there with in Beastmaster 2 Through the Portal of Time. Wait, hang on. Wait for it. Wait. I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
When the Beastmaster goes through the Portal of Time, and then he's with Kari Wurr, they're in her convertible. They're going through, like, L.A., I think, actually. And then he looks over and sees a movie marquee that says Beastmaster 2 Through the Portal of Time. And he's doing like a double take, like, what? Huh? Like that. I had the same reaction, like, when I saw Beastmaster 2 for the first time, and that fucking happened. I'm sitting there like, is this movie fucking with me? What the fuck?
That was, yeah.
I'm in the theater. Like, I think I was the only one in the theater that caught that they were watching the original about
I think
last
so,
night.
too. I was like, it looked familiar. I was like, wait, where are they? And then I heard you sort of chuckle. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, that's a reference to something. I have to ask him about that later.
Yeah. I was in the theater like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would recommend. I would honestly totally recommend this movie. Maybe it's because I just genuinely recommend it. I mean,
yeah,
it's certainly
a pretty funny movie.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly helps that.
Kevin Hart.
Well, yeah, that whole thing, yeah, certainly. But it certainly helps too that I've seen the shittier romance movies that are out. So.
That's true.
What'd you think of the trailers that we got?
Oh shit! What did we get?
We got Single Moms Club. Dude, that's fuck, I can't even say that that's a Dave and Brian movie, because I told them I'd go see the Tyler Perry movies this year. Fuck. You know what?
Oh, I guess.
It's not a fucking Medea movie, so it looks like Tyler Perry just remade Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah.
And stuck a couple of white girls in there.
Cameron Diaz.
No, that's...
that's,
That was the other woman...
Yeah, that's true.
With her and Leslie Mann.
Yeah.
I've gotten that trailer so many goddamn times. There was,
Shit, yeah, what else was there?
Fuck else. It was like a crapshoot. It was just random shit we kept
Oh,
getting.
Jump Street.
22 Jump Street. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I liked the first one alright.
Yeah, I liked the first one. I actually liked the first one a lot. It's really like Tatum movie I sort of like.
I don't know if I really need a sequel. Granted, when I saw the first one, I was like, really? Do I really fucking need this movie? And then I saw it and I liked it. And the second one, I'm still kind of like, do I really need this? I don't know, maybe I'll go see it and I'll like it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Haunted House 2.
How was the first one?
I didn't see that.
Oh.
That's a Dave and Brian movie.
They like it?
No. No, I was at I was at Gangster Squad that night. They were at Haunted House too, and Brian, of course, took Letty with him. And of course, it's Haunted House, so their movie was like 40 minutes shorter than ours.
Right.
So Letty just goes in and sees the last part of Gangster Squad.
What else did we get? Yeah, the single women.
We got like 5 or 6 goddamn.
Yeah, there was a
trailers.
lot of trailers.
And that we've mentioned so many times on here, that turn off your cell phones ad.
Oh, which one now? There was 2 on this one.
Well, the main one.
Remember the camel?
Oh, movie day!
Movie day!
Oh, popcorn! Mike! It's movie day!
Oh, good. I work with that guy.
I work with that guy. Motherfucker, you work with a camel?
Every time I see that fucking camel, all I want is a fucking cigarette.
I don't like
Go,
that
Joe Camel.
Well, at least Joe's doing more, more honest work now. What is that? Geico? Is that? What's the original with that camel?
I think it's Geico.
It's Hump Day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Geico has like 20 million fucking mascots.
Yeah, they do. Float.
That's progressive.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I know my mascots.
And then, yeah, of course, the fucking bear one.
Okay, we've talked about this, so we've touched on it so many times in this, but we don't really actually get point by point into what happens in this thing. It's like really, really vague, so unless you've seen the preview, whoever's watching this is probably like, what in the fuck kind of ad are they getting that they say is racist and involves bears?
It does.
Here's what it is. I don't know how would you describe it? It's like little red balls
like
that
little
have
AMC
faces
balls.
on it.
Yeah. And then, like, some ghetto girl be walking down the street.
Hopping down the street. She's a little, and they're all red.
So it's not racist. They're all red.
But I mean, you can tell what race they are. I mean, like, I don't think it's necessarily like racist. I mean, it's like you can just kind of. You could just tell what race they are by how they make them look and how they make them talk. That sounds really racist. How I'm describing it sounds crazy racist, but what she's actually said, like, really isn't. I mean, it's not like...
Yeah, like, walking her phone.
She's hopping, and she's got her phone on a leash that's supposed to be her dog, and the picture on the phone is, like, the nose and mouth of a dog, and she says, honey... No one needs to know who you're calling sugar, or something like. I'm making this sound so racist.
But that's how it sounds.
Yeah, honey. No, she's got. Okay, she's got big earrings. She's got like a weave down her face.
Yeah, like.
And a big lipstick on, I guess, even though it's all red. But I mean, you can't see her eyes because her hair's in front of it. She's hopping down, and the phone's going off, and she's like, "No one wants to hear that, sugar." And then a bear that's another giant ball comes upon the dog phone that's on her leash, that comes upon her dog and then eats it. And then the voiceover goes like, "'Cause we ain't responsible if a bear eats it. We just aren't. So turn off that phone, honey."
Well, at least they're covering their asses legally, you know, just in case a bear breaks in.
I guess. There is that bear documentary coming out.
What's that?
It's called Bears. And it's got 2 bears on it. I think it's a documentary. But like, so fucking Brian gets this ad for the first time in front of like a Medea Christmas and thinks that it was specifically put there for that movie. And Dave kind of did too, because the movie that Dave saw it in front of beforehand was Black Nativity. And I had to be like, no, I've gotten that at like all the movies I've been at too. Apparently when Brian saw it, he looks over at Dave like, "So that was racist, right?"
It's only racist if the little black red dot had a pit bull for a dog.
It's only racist when it's a white guy like me describing the commercial.
That too.
I don't even, it's so bizarre. And then every time we get it, Brian is always sitting there like, after it's over, Brian's like, I still don't understand this fucking commercial. Like, it frustrates him so much that he can't understand this fucking commercial. I've tried hard to, like, look on YouTube to find video of it.
There's none on there?
No, not yet. There's, like, older ones on there with, like, the Muppets and shit when they used to do that. In time, I'm sure it will. I'm surprised no one's just on their cell phone, like, fucking taking video of it and just put it on YouTube. It's got to be playing at every AMC theater, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, but I was even looking for, like, are there any articles that are talking about this? Because this is so weird. And I found, like, it was on, like, Yelp, I think, where they were reviewing, like, the one of the AMC movie theaters, and fucking one of them, they gave it like 4 stars out of 5, the theater. And they were like, well, yeah, 4 stars out of 5. It's a theater. It's got seats. It's got a screen. There's food. Okay, what more do I have to say? And then they're like, but there was this weird thing about saying a bear might eat my phone. I don't know what the fuck that was about. And they're all red, but you can tell which ones are white and black and which one is Jason Voorhees. Oh yeah. Earlier, one of them's Jason, and he gets a pie to the face after chainsawing through the AMC logo. AMC is getting really weird. How much longer do I have to see that goddamn fucking ad? Son of a...
At least another couple more months, probably.
I know I'll be seeing it again in a little bit, because I gotta take Nick home. And then I gotta go pick up Jillian, and then come back to the theater to see another fucking movie. Whatever. I ain't got nothing else to fucking do tonight.
I gotta go home and do nothing.
I don't know what else I got. This is kind of like when we used to do that public access show.
Yeah, right. Oh, I miss that show.
We used to, We used to have a public access show where we pretty much just did this. This was like right out of high school. We used to do this. We used to just pick random movies and sit there and talk about it. I was the talkative one.
I wasn't.
Still am. Nothing has changed. Got facial hair now. You look exactly the goddamn same.
Damn straight.
I don't. Actually, I think I look way better now than I did when I was younger. I've grown into a man.
Finally. We're so proud of you growing into a man.
Yeah, alcohol will do that.
Yeah. Oh shit! That was funny, but you know. All right.
I don't know what to say. I mean, my final thought about it is, it was kind of, this is going off of the AMC .ad thing. The movie about last night, I forgot about this. It was really kind of, I mean, it's a good movie, but it is totally a commercial for that cell phone they kept using.
Thank you. Everyone in the damn movie has the same cell phone. I don't know what it is.
They make it up. It's a Nokia because she works for Nokia in the movie.
That's right.
Because like it shows the outside of the building every time she's at work. They all have the same phones. They make it a point to tell you they all have the same phones.
Oh, that's right. Oh, sorry, I forgot we had the same phones.
Yeah.
How would you forget?
Right. This is after they moved in together. They're just realizing that.
Yeah.
And then they talk about the different features the phone has. There's one part where, it's when she goes to Chicago. She goes to Chicago to do a pitch meeting on a new app on the phone. So just out of nowhere, it cuts away from what's going on to her pitching this new feature on the phone where you can tap it onto like headphones. And either it'll just go like straight to your headphone. Like is that what it does? The music goes from the phone to your headphone?
Like you just sit there and you just go boop. And then it's already, then you can just play it through your headphone. Yeah, shit like that.
This is out of nowhere in the movie. Yeah. It just cuts to this pitch about this feature on the phone. It's like 30 seconds. There's no beginning, middle, or there's no beginning or end to this scene. It just is her doing this short presentation on it. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's not as bad as what fucking Brian was talking about, Larry the Cable Guy's Prilosec OTC ad and fucking Medea Christmas.
OTC.
But, got anything else?
I don't know. Which one do you think was better, the older one or this one?
Oh, I mentioned earlier, thinking about it, I kind of did like this one better than the first one. I mean, the first one wasn't as... The first one didn't have as many of, like, the really, really raunchier moments. I mean, like, it was played up a lot more in this, from what I remember. And I'm mainly talking about, like, a lot of the Kevin Hart stuff. The stuff with the main couple was pretty relatively the same. The stuff with... Bernie and Joan, I remember in this one, seems to be amped up quite a bit. I mean, I do remember Belushi being pretty vulgar in the other one too, but
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, not compared to tiny ass Kevin Hart in this. But I mean, they still had that same kind of volatile relationship. Bernie's, from what I remember, I'm going off of several years having seen it, but I did kind of like. I laughed more in this one. I
Yeah,
think
it's real funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I laughed more in this one, and like I mentioned earlier, I identified more with this one, mainly because I'm much older seeing this one than I was when I saw the original. So yeah, does it make you want to see the original?
Well, you're saying the black version's better, so
Blacker is always better, Nick.
it's true.
And that's
shit.
and that's the moral of this review.
Black is always better.